Match number 4 of the premier domestic T20 tournament of the world features Rajasthan taking on Chennai. Rajasthan, of course, playing the first matchup of this tournament, while Chennai looking to make it 2 wins out of 2 after their opening day victory against Mumbai. I'm Anubhav Jain, and I'm beyond delighted to be joined by journalist extraordinaire Ayaz Memon and the very vivacious and elegant Mandira Lalvani. Ayaz, Mandira, welcome again.
Thank you very much.
Ayaz, so we'll kick things off with you once again. What are your top player picks for this encounter and some of the key points that you think we should be looking forward to as we preview this encounter?
Well, I think, Chennai, having beaten defending champion Mumbai, have got wind in their sails. It's called the Dad's Army. So be it. I mean, they've been delivering the goods season after season since 2018. And despite Suresh Raina and Harbhajan Singh not being there, they won quite convincingly, finally. Ambati Raidu, one of those guys who's no longer in international cricket, coming up with a scintillating knock. Piyush Chawla, who's no longer playing international cricket, giving them the big breakthrough. And then, of course, young Sam Curran, I thought used superbly by Dhoni. He had a smart cameo with the bat, smart cameo with the ball, and finally, that's what led to Chennai winning the match. So, I think Rajasthan are up against a team which may, the average age may be the highest in the league, but they've got their wits about them and they've got fierce ambition. And Rajasthan are actually the spot of bother because Ben Stokes, their linchpin, their biggest player, is not available. He's in New Zealand with his father, ailing father. Steve Smith, the captain, has just had concussion of sorts, and he's just about recovered from injury. He didn't do too much in England either. And Ajinkya Rahane, who was one of their mainstays, the batting mainstays, has moved to Delhi. So Steve Smith, Archer, and Samson would become the 3 picks from Rajasthan. Joss Butler and Jofra Archer to kind of bail them out of this rather tough situation. And of course, young Sanju Samson. When I keep saying young Sanju Samson, let's not forget he's been playing for 6-7 years. This could be the season for him to establish himself as a major domo for his team and also for in Indian cricket. He can become the match winner, consistent match winner that Rajasthan have been, wanting that attribute from him. They've invested so heavily in him. So my picks for this match would be, MS Dhoni. You have to pick him all while, whether he bats or not. As a captain, he's so influential. Sam Curran for the twin skills that he brings, and Ambati Raidu because he looked a man in terrific form, sublime form. And from Rajasthan, Joss Butler, Jofra Archer, undoubtedly, and Sanju Samson.
What do you reckon, Mandira?
A big talking point is, of course, as usual, Captain Cool's captaincy. Mahendra Singh Dhoni's move in the opener of the tournament to promote Jadeja as well as Curran up the order when he did and put himself behind them was again a master move which reaped great fruit for the Chennai team. As far as Rajasthan is concerned, again, strong on paper, a lot of domestic talent, but not that much experience. Definitely the onus largely will be on people like Sanju Samson, Yashasvi Jaiswal. I think they will be leaning towards him. He's one to look out for sure. Also, Steve Smith, despite the concussion, he is the big hitter, the big name, and Jofra Archer for sure. As far as Chennai is concerned, Dhoni, as we said, Faf du Plessis. I think he's ended the debate on who's going to bat at number 3 in the absence of Raina. He did fantastically well, of course, partnered superbly by Ambati Raidu. So that is definitely one. And Piyush Chawla. Those are my picks.
And Ayaz, thank you so much, Mandira. Ayaz, Steve Smith didn't look in his usual elegant, sublime touch in England. Do you think that should be a cause for concern for Rajasthan?
Well, I wouldn't say Steve Smith is an elegant batsman at all. His technique is his own, and but it's very effective. He's a fantastic player. He's the most productive batsman we've seen, at least in the 5-day format, for a long while. Didn't look in great form in England, and also got hit on the head. So this is the second time it's happened in 2 years that he suffered a head injury in England. So, but it's also because of his awkward technique, the positions that he gets into, that he leaves himself a little vulnerable. Having said that, the best players come up trumps in the most challenging situations. This is what he did in the Ashes series last year when he scored, runs by the ton. So Steve Smith is always a factor. I think Mandira is right. Look, if there's no Ben Stokes, he'll absorb that greater responsibility, and I think that's the way captains play and should be playing. So Steve Smith is really their biggest star in the absence of Ben Stokes.
And Josh Butler seems to be in prolific Nick Mandira. He certainly should be a vital cog in the wheel for Rajasthan, shouldn't he?
He will be eventually, but he's out for the opening match because he's under quarantine conditions with his family because he's come from England and he won't be available for selection for the first match, for which I feel the onus will fall largely, of course, on Steve Smith, on David Miller as well as Robin Uthappa. So it's a decent top order for sure, missing their two key pillars, of course. So yes, that is the case for them.
And let's speak a bit about the bowling lineups. Who are some of the key bowlers in both teams that we should be keeping an eye on?
So I think, I think the spinners for Chennai, certainly, Piyush Chawla, Ravindra Jadeja, they've done very well. Jadeja went for a few runs the first match, but, he's got the ability to, he's got the skills to come good consistently. I think Piyush Chawla is going to be a big factor in the first half of the tournament, because what I sense is that Chennai will play Imran Tahir in the second, towards the second half of the tournament, when it gets a little less hot and it's not so oppressive, and he's also recovered completely from playing in the Caribbean Premier League. So that, and I think Sam Curran is a very, not just he's got skills, but he's also very clever. I think he's a good reader of the game. So he's only 22, but he's emerging as a very formidable talent for England as well as wherever he plays in these T20 leagues. This is, he's the kind of bowler that any team would want, or an all-rounder that any team would want.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And Mandira, would love for you to sum up your thoughts and give us your prediction for this.
So just sticking with the bowlers for a second, of course, there is, as I said, Yashasvi Jaiswal for Rajasthan Royals. There's also Jaydev Unadkat. These pitches will suit his style of playing for sure. And the apparent weakness for Rajasthan has been the death overs, but then we have Tom Curran here, so that might also change. So that's for Rajasthan. As far as Chennai is concerned, I go with what Ayaz has said for sure, exactly echoing the same. And now, because I have quickly got a chance to put my pick before Ayaz's, I'm going to root for Chennai.
Well, look, having won the first match, they would obviously start as favourites, and especially the absence of Ben Stokes and Josh Butler, if he's not there, it just kind of, in fact, quite dramatically, the needle shift towards Chennai as favourite. So that would be my pick also.
Thank you so much, Mandira. Thank you so much, Ayaz. Both Ayaz and Mandira on the same side with regard to the team that they see winning this encounter. Chennai is their pick, but please do let us know if you agree or disagree with their picks. So that's a wrap for this preview. Thank you so much again for having joined us on our OnePlay Sports Networks, and please stay tuned on our networks for more such previews in the future as well throughout the course of this Indian T20 League. Thank you so much for having joined us.